use. So the question itself is pretty simple. What's the difference between the traditional IRA and Roth IRA, and which one should I be using? So here going. Either of us can take that one, but I know you've got some passion on the subject, so I'll defer.
It's the CPA nerd in me trying to get out. Yeah, the Roth has taken on, as Pat said, this like mythical status as being the only way you should invest. And I'm not entirely sure what's driving that. I think it's just this recognition that people just don't like taxes, which is great. And so, you have different vehicles you can use to earmark dollars for retirement. The IRA was, called an individual retirement arrangement, or individual retirement account, something that Congress created decades ago. And what it basically says was that dollars that are inside this vehicle will not incur tax along the way. But when you go to withdraw funds from that vehicle, you will pay tax as you take the dollars out. And that's still where the just extreme vast majority of retirement dollars are held, is still in these IRAs. The Roth IRA was created, there was a senator named Roth, and they said, how about we create an IRA that does not have any taxes along the way, so same idea, but doesn't even have any taxes when you go withdraw the money and spend it at a later date. And so I think right away people think, well, that sounds even better. But the way you get the dollars in there is quite a bit different. You have to take after-tax dollars. So let's say you've got, you work at your job, you've got some extra disposable income left over at the end of the month. You've paid income tax on that. That money's already been taxed. And then you take whatever's left over and you stick that into this Roth vehicle to the extent you're eligible. There are some caps on who's eligible. And then you'll have those dollars be forever tax-free, which is great. But if you look at the IRA, which most people end up funding, some people make contributions along the way, but generally speaking, people put money into their 401k, which is their employer's plan at work. Those dollars never have been taxed. They come out of your paycheck, they go right into the account, and they are invested without tax all along those years for that growth. Keep in mind, you never have paid tax on these dollars. And then when you go to take them out later on, you will pay taxes. So the interesting thing is, and I don't understand how this gets so conflated, you have the same mathematical result, assuming the tax rates stay the same level throughout the entry period and the exit period. You have the exact same mathematical result in terms of what the traditional IRA can do and what the Roth IRA can do. And yet somehow people think of Roth and say, it's tax-free, it's tax-free. Well, yeah, but you had to pay taxes up front to put the dollars into it. So it all nets out the same, strangely enough, but that gets lost in the wash quite a bit. So I think all retirement saving is a smart idea. Understand what your needs are going to be, work on the math, discount that back to today's values, and that's stuff we help clients with all the time. The vehicle itself is not really the key. It's putting the dollars away, investing them prudently, and then being patient and leaving the stuff alone. Rebalance along the way as you go. So I'm kind of a little far afield from that, but Roths are great, but they're just one way of getting the job done. They're not the only way.